Evan's face.
This is your list. You gotta live with it. Oh my god, Evan's face.
And I'm not talking about the picture.
That's his new full name, Evan's Face.
Evan's Face.
Oh, Evan's Face, son.
I finally have a
Surname.
a name that works.
That could be a beer in Japan for sure.
That's not really saying much considering it's the fucking Wild West over here. Like anything goes. The place that we take our Gozer, our dog, to get a haircut is called the trimming. Japan is obsessed with the article the, and they use it in all the wrong places. There's a Rakuten,
just like hello and welcome to the Pixel Pints.
That's the end of that.
Hello, we are the Pixel Pints.
Cheers, guys.
Are you mother fudging ready for the new hit? Stand up and admit tomorrow's never coming. This is the new hit. Stand up and admit. Hello, we are Pixel Pints. There was a throwback for any Marilyn Manson fans. Yes, we are the only global podcast that talks about two things that we enjoy. That's good beer and Marilyn Manson. Please Marilyn Manson responsibly.
Seriously.
Yeah, that shit's
The one show that I really wanted to go to, his tickets were like $250 starting out here in Vegas. I was like, that's way too much.
Damn.
For Manson.
For a concert in general, that's actually pretty cheap.
No, not really. I mean, I've gotten tickets a lot cheaper than that.
I mean,
I guess the nosebleeds start at $250.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that was like the cheapest ticket.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I thought it was like decent seats for $250 because I was like,
no.
Have you seen how much people are paying for Taylor Swift? Are you kidding me?
Like I saw the amount of people were paying for Billie Eilish tickets when I was running Carpenter on that, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Makes you think, where do they have all this money?
Their parents.
Well, that was so funny is that even with the price of the tickets, every person who does a show at Radio City Music Hall in New York loses money. Mm-hmm. Because of the cost of the venue, but they have to do it because they need that special like punch card, like we've been to Radio City Music Hall and stuff like that. It was amazing, but everyone loses money on Radio City Music Hall.
Well, I didn't mean to push the podcast off topic so quickly, but I thought I'd try and help the Manson analog along.
Well, yeah. Do you think Marilyn Manson plays video games whilst on the toilet, which he will only ever use once, and then has to use a completely new toilet, like Dr. Dre goes through shoes?
Why are you talking about Burkoff and his Steam Deck?
Matt, so yes, let's quickly go around the room because I can't be asked with the intro anymore. Matt, now that you are unemployed, how many things have you tried to install Linux on?
Ooh,
good question.
I already have Linux installed on all of the devices that I own, so I'm good to go there.
Have you bought a LG connected fridge so that you can try and install Linux on it?
No, but I have a Samsung fridge
that runs Linux. Have you played Doom on your fridge?
Not yet.
Okay, well that's
on my bucket list for the new year.
Stefan, how do you feel about Linux and or Marilyn Manson?
With Linux, I kind of want to use it to get an unraid server so I can unsub to everything. Matt's probably the only one that understands what I'm talking about. It's just I want to be able to pirate everything, like Matt.
Well, you mean
I couldn't care less.
You mean take control of the media you actually own, so that at some point in future Warner Brothers can't just take it from you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mikey, how are things with you?
Very few things have Linux on it, but no, things are great. We're getting to the end of this season of 800 parties, engagements, whatever. Like my actual last Christmas is tomorrow. I have one more Christmas to deal with. And hopefully my nephews don't cut their thumbs off.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Does your Christmas
regular occurrence?
Christmas.
Knife throwing, I've heard.
No, because my eldest sister and her husband, they live and run a boat down in the U.S. Virgin Islands, like tours and stuff like that from people who just want to rent it to Boy Scout groups and stuff like that, and their sons. They have 2 sons, and so I made them miniature 18th century rigging knives, like for working with rope for Christmas. So hopefully they don't cut their thumbs off.
Nice. Okay.
Is it left hand or right hand lean?
He's
I'm
got.
sorry, which?
I was gonna say he's got a child calling him right now. He needs to go do his fatherly duty. What are you doing, distracting him like that?
So left-handed. I thought you would have got that from reading the Patrick O'Brien books. Is the
No, I didn't actually hear what you said.
Is the rope left hand or right hand lean?
Right.
Yeah, because we haven't had left hand leaning rope for many centuries now. That's a useless aside. Talking of useless asides, Evan, how are you?
Dude, I would have, in that second before the pivot, I would have bet my house that my name was going to come. I fucking knew it. I'm good. I'm gonna put on my my sunglasses only because I'm starting to get drunk eyes, so I don't want that to distract everyone.
I knew
pretend
that's
I'm
why
not
you
as
wore the
drunk as I can.
glasses. I always assumed, but I didn't want to
Yeah.
make that full assumption. But I'm like this is the Evan face.
Yeah.
And then when you
So-
start wandering around the room,
Yeah, so you'll have to pay attention to the other combination of drunk signs, not just my lids half closed. I'm good. Christmas is over, but much like in England, in Great Britain, you have added more festivities onto the end of the year with Boxing Day. I think it's a great idea. In Japan, it's basically just started with the New Year's, which is the huge. It's like the Christmas of Japan. So that starts tomorrow, the 31st. Huge dinner. Gonna watch all the shows at the end of the year, which is a big thing, and then go to the shrine at midnight for the first time. They're gonna ring the bell at the temple 108 times for the 108 sins of men, and then do a big drinking thing. Basically, all cultures are the same. It's a harvest festival that has turned into tradition, and it's just an excuse to drink. So I am very excited to not be done with the festivities. So I'm doing okay.
Yeah, just
I
one
hope
clarification.
you all are all. Yes.
Yeah, we're all wonderful. Just to let you know that Great Britain has been officially downgraded to average Britain, and if things
no.
continue going the way they are next year, we could be downgraded further to declining Britain.
Fuck. I don't like that.
Yeah, right.
So many
It might
syllables.
be declining to leave in Britain.
I was gonna say decline to Queen Elizabeth VIII, Britain.
subpar Britain.
No, it's too many syllables. It's got to be great is one syllable. You got to
Ancient.
high Britain, like low Britain,
Ancient
mid Britain,
Giant
something like that.
Britain.
Ooh, the high justice, the middle, and the low. Ooh, you may
right,
find him,
so,
you may fleece him, you may slay him.
Mitch, how are things in La? Has there been any sightings of Marilyn Manson and/or Linux?
Well, I was in Phoenix for a while, so there were sightings in neither areas. So
I'm sorry.
Okay,
If
that's just
I
disappointing.
was disappointed I didn't run over Marilyn Manson while I was driving on my way back to LA. You know, just no, I played a shit ton of games. I've got through a lot of games this break, and I still have many that I'm almost done, and we'll finish more.
Lucky you, do it while you can, before the children set in and take all of your time.
Oh no,
And money.
I might live the Evan life, just have a dog child.
Oh my god,
Dog
that sounds
child.
creepy as fuck.
The Empress, the Empress Mord.
Kill me!
That's probably Evan's googling that as a horror movie now from I know Luxembourg or some.
Wait, Evan, is it
child horror film?
Evan, is it the Empress or Her Majesty?
Her Majesty.
Her
Her
Majesty.
Majesty. She's
Okay,
making.
thank you.
Yeah.
Liam,
Might upgrade
how
the
does-
Empress the way she's fucking bossing me around.
Liam, how does it feel to be a Pixel Punch champion? Championes, ole, 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 I hear is how the song goes.
Well, I mean, that's completely changed my life, Keith.
Sorry, you get 90
I'm
seconds.
doing the exact same things I did before I was champion, but it feels so much
Wrap
different.
it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Wrap
Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Please walk off the stage.
Sorry, I'm just adjusting my microphone.
And whoever did that, can you please refrain from belching into your microphone? You're supposed to let the gas out of your beer, allegedly.
You decant your beer? You monster.
Oh, God. That's great.
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks, everyone, for asking. Twats. I watched, I engaged in some Christmas movie watching. So I watched Jingle All the Way, which is an enjoyable Christmas movie until you actually think about what is happening. So you've got two neglectful fathers, one of whom is Arnold Schwarzenegger, the other whom is Sinbad, and both of whom commit multiple felonies, but only the black guy goes to prison at the end.
Jingle all the way.
Just saying, there's a lot of Christmas movies that meet that description. I mean, Home Alone is just full of problems, and not just with Kevin. You know.
What about the Santa Claus? Jesus, that's like child abduction. The movie.
Yeah.
But I did watch Evan. I watched Ghostbusters. I watched Ghostbusters 2, and I also watched Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I enjoyed far less the second time of watching than I did the first. So the Ghostbusters franchise begins and ends with Ghostbusters 2 for me.
Wait, can I ask one quick question around the one quick question around the room, real quick. No long spiel, just one question. What is your Christmas movie that maybe someone not think is a Christmas movie?
Krampus.
That's a good one. A good pick.
Well, everyone thinks Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but it was really a pagan movie that was Christianized in 434 by the Council of Nicaea.
Love it.
By Pope Nathan.
Batman Returns is my Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I say Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
That's a
great one.
Yep. No.
That has one of my favourite lines of any film in all time.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer basically bitch slapping Robert Downey Jr. He said, "Well, my mom always says you find things in the last place of look." Well, of course you do, you idiot, because you found it.
That sounds like a McWomble quote.
What is his name? It's like Fancy Tony or something.
Bullet Tooth Tony? Oh no, that's
Val Kilmer's
Oh man,
Snatch.
Yeah, that's Snatch. Yep, you're right.
All right. Well, I just wanted to get that out of the way. You know, there's
Rapid fire. Favorite Rankin Bass Christmas movie? Go.
I don't even know what
I was gonna say, like, the movie that's not really a Christmas movie.
Gay Perry.
Gay Perry. That's
Gay Perry. Yeah, right.
All the Harry Potter movies are technically, I guess, Christmas movies.
Yeah,
right?
they are.
Take place.
That's true. They do. They do take place in Christmas.
I like the one where Harry Potter had a mental breakdown at Christmas. That was a good one.
I like the
Which
one where
one was that one?
Oh no, that's just the one.
He has a mental breakdown every Christmas.
Was it Matt who was? Someone recently was going on a rant. They're like, I'm trying to remember who it was, but someone was like, Harry Potter should have died. Like that person, bowed out. Rowling should have stuck with it and let like someone impactful die. And then same with sorry. It was actually it was Linus on Linus Tech Tips because he was talking about different things, and he was like the original cut of Encanto didn't have the like everyone gets their magic powers back at the ending. that was tacked on.
Interesting.
Because like, well, it was like no, like things happen and like sacrifice, like and things you lose things, and that's it. Like that is a way that life changes. Like have some balls to let that happen. Like it was an almost perfect movie until you let them get away with all of the crap they were doing, and everyone got their magic powers back.
Yeah.
Like, anyway.
I haven't seen Encanto, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
I haven't seen it
Oh my
either.
god.
Well, it's because you don't have nephews and nieces, like, or children that live right next to you.
I mean, I usually like
it's-
Disney animated movies, but recently they've just been horrible, in my opinion. So I have no reason to ever
you're
watch
right,
them
you're
ever
right.
again.
I never want to see Evan pull that face behind me, and Matt's got to deal with it.
You see how bored I look?
Yeah. Right. Before we get on to beers, I contacted a video game developer on behalf of Evan to give them their award, the Pixel Points or Special Evan Award. And Evan, knowing how much you love this game, I wrote to your favourite game developer, who were Insert Pixel Art Metroidvania. And the lead director from Insert Pixel Art Metroidvania got back to me saying, thank you very much for this prestigious award. I would very much I'd like to accept this on behalf of all the staff at Insert Pixel Art Metroidvania. We've never been so graced. Having met our sales targets for 2023, I'm now counting my dividend as owner, CEO, and creative director. I would like to thank the team, but as they missed their Metacritic target, they are all now laid off. That's what you get for hiring women to code instead of cook.
Ooh.
I've been contacted by a very reputable and nice sounding man called Bobby Kotick, who said he's interested in taking part ownership of the studio, and we look forward to working together closely in 2024. As Evan is such a fan of the games that we make at Insert Pixel Art Metroidvania, we'd like to give him open alpha access to our new project. We hope he likes the isometric 4 versus 4 player battle royale that we are going to develop based on our favourite Insert Pixel Art Metroidvania IP. All the best. I'm off to count my money. Fuck you all. Insert Pixel Art Metroidvania.
That's awesome.
And Evan's on mute, so he can't say anything. Right, should we do beers?
Definitely.
I should have timestamped that.
He's
so I can
still
clip it.
muted. He needs to understand when he's unmuted and muted. It's just a thing. He
No,
needs-
that was an accident.
He needs
I
to
didn't-
stop
I
hitting
didn't
that
mean
mute
to
button
mute
because
that.
he just burps in the microphone and
I
then
don't
we
know
tell
how I
him to
did that.
stop and then he mutes himself when he could just turn around and burp the other way.
Yep.
Matt, do a really loud laugh right now, or just like pretend.
I can't do it on command.
Ho,
just like-
ho, ho.
That's what
Open
she
your mouth.
said.
All right, good enough.
Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
So
you're gonna update the
basically what we're
image.
happening is Evan's doing a live creation of a picture while we're doing the podcast. So we'll see what it looks like when it's finished.
When
He's
it's
doing a
finished.
collage, yeah.
So, Evan, how do you feel about being the number one fan at Insert Pixel Art Metroidvania?
Oh, I'm absolutely honored. I mean, every Metroidvania, 2D pixel art, side-scrolling, whatever is great, right? Not enough come out. We need more of them. There's only 5,000, and yeah, I just anytime I see one, I know that it's good. It doesn't matter how many people worked on it, and yeah, I just
It doesn't
I like
matter
it.
how abusive the staff may or may not have been.
as long as I get my game.
How close they are or aren't to Bobby Kotick.
You know what I'm saying, Matt? Sorry. This is a very visual podcast, by the way. I apologize.
Did I share the Canadian Taylor Swift with everybody?
Yes, you did. That was funny. Right, so going back to beers, I have Hobgoblin Ruby Ale that I'm drinking from my Hobgoblin glass. I also have something a bit more special.
Oh, interesting.
Tongrello is a Flemish beer, and this stuff is amazing. It's also 6% ABV.
That'll get you there.
I'll do you one better. I have not better necessarily in flavor, but I have a other half brewery Space Daydream double dry hopped Imperial Oat Cream India Pale Ale.
Imperial oat cream?
Imperial Oat
Pale
Cream
ale.
India Pale Ale. Like
I thought you were
it's
going to say stout on the end of
Jesus.
that.
What's the ABV on that one?
8.5.
Oh,
Nice.
8.5.
And I'm already sitting.
8.1.
I haven't cracked into this yet because I'm afraid.
The fear is real.
This is Chorus the Quasher Quadruple Imperial Stout.
No.
Keith
Oh,
is
man.
immediately out.
Nope.
15.7 ABV.
Oh my god.
Keith, that's wine, dude. That is not even beer anymore.
I'm
sits
terrified
down.
of that beer.
Keith sits down. Mike pulls it out, being like, "Here you go," and then Keith just stands up, walks away.
I'm out.
Right.
That is
I'm out.
Tyson in his heyday with Custom Auto behind him. He will. That
I am
beer is going to
terrified.
fucking
I'm
knock you out.
I'm terrified of this beer. Comes in a 8.45 fluid ounce can.
Yeah, it's got to. Yeah, that's wine at that point.
It is not beer, but I finally took the plunge and tried that cream LS. I know it was actually very good, and it ended up being a hit at my party that I brought it to, and then I gave it to my dad for Christmas, and he loved the crap out of that, and had to look it up to buy my stepmom had to look it up to buy for her mom for Christmas because she's like, she would love this.
The hype is real.
The hype is real. Cream LS ain't no joke. It good.
Well, we should be sponsored by Le Steve D then, shouldn't we?
That's creamls.com/
Pixel
Pixel
Pints.
Pints.
Yeah, for no % off.
No percent.
Evan, what are you drinking?
Oh, do you remember in past years I've shown the Lucky Cat, Lucky Dog, Lucky Boar?
I think I
Yes.
brought one
Series?
too. I think I had the Lucky Cat.
Oh, by the way, do you know what year the year it is of the Chinese?
Is it the year of the pig?
You're in
Sounds like
Japan,
the-
Evan. You're not in
Year
China.
of the dragon.
Come on, get your
Yeah.
horoscopes
it's-
right. Just kidding.
I understand.
Get your-
but
get your
some
heart
aspects
right.
some aspects of Japan are inextricably linked to China, so they follow the.
No.
No. Yeah. As much as the Japanese nationalists would hate, and it's like, actually, you know where you're really from. Wait, we're streaming, but no one watches the show. The Japanese are more racist against Chinese and Koreans than any other person. It's fucking crazy.
I can believe that.
It makes it absolutely makes no sense. But I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Evan, real quick, living.
So
Okay, yeah.
let's move on.
Liam gave the right answer, by the way. It's the Year of the Dragon.
Oh,
It is,
nice.
yeah.
I was just googling.
Oh,
that and
Lucky
couldn't find
Dragon.
it.
Ah, nice.
Nice.
So
It's got a
I'm
top
drinking
hat.
the Lucky Dragon. Actually, yeah, I didn't know. I didn't see that at first.
How's
so,
that not the first thing you see?
Kizuna-
It's a dragon with a top hat.
That is, yeah, it is kind of dumb.
He's like my wife who
Perceptive.
cannot see bold print.
Yeah, I
My
cannot see
wife,
top hats.
my wife cannot see the boldest thing in something. She'll read all the fine print, and go, "What's going on?" I'm like, the big letters that are 6 inches wide. Like, oh,
Do
that.
you see that?
Yeah.
So this is an umami pale ale. Who knows what that means? Kizakura is a Kyoto brewery, and they originally brew sake. That's like their main, and they shifted into beer production.
Doesn't that just mean they put a little chef sprinkle of MSG in the beer?
Yep.
No,
Yeah,
umami.
who knows, right? I mean, they
Like
they have
mixed
the land.
flavors that complement each other. That's what umami is.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you're referring to the umami. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Who knows? Can I be as pretentious to say that I really taste the umami in the spear? Mick Womble is waiting for me to say something. I can see it in his face. I cannot actually. This is not an A24 film.
The thing about umami is that it never existed until some pretentious toss rag decided, you know what, we need another sense. We need another form of taste. I will invent this thing. And then Heston Blumenthal picked it up, and now everyone fucking talks about it all over
Are you sure it's not just some guy who had a foodgasm but also had an Oedipus complex?
If your children start screaming umami that way, we have it on.
It's
We
all-
have it.
it's all your fault.
It's on. We have it recorded. We will send it to your wife.
Inspired an entire generation.
This is going to be the new TikTok trend, isn't it? People are going to go and eat food and then umami.
Actually, there is a TikToker that says that, except says mama instead of umami. He was a very
Umama?
he just
Instead of umami?
No, he just says mama instead of umami. Unfortunately,
You're saying mom.
Unfortunately, he got arrested for some bad stuff.
Saying for umami.
Child endangerment.
No, sexual abuse.
Someone on TikTok got arrested.
Okay.
Jesus.
That's dangerous
Oh,
for
wow.
children.
He was like
too.
the most famous TikToker in Korea, I think.
Kentucky.
How did we move from Evan drinking
Kentucky.
beer to this? This is-
Kentucky.
Okay, so we can all agree that umami is actually a thing. I think we're all just annoyed at the overuse of it, which I do agree with. But anyways, there's nothing umami about this pale ale, but it is quite good.
Is there
You know,
anything
it really,
about it?
I can really smell the luck, and also the dragon. Just a hint of dragon in the.
And taste the mother. Smell
Just
the
taste
luck,
the-
taste the mother.
Taste the mother. Oh, I can taste the mother. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds like a
Okay,
Japanese term.
moving on.
That's another
Moving
horror
on.
movie on Evan's 2024 list.
Taste the mother. It's an A24 flick, man. It showed at TIFF.
A24, man. They're pulling out the flicks.
That
We
should have been the
we need to
HB.
have A24 or A24 adjacent Discord watch parties.
That should have been the
Green Knight.
achievement unlocked on Blasphemous 2. Taste the mother.
Oh yeah.
Well, it should have been. Should it not have been Taste the Mother, Taste the Father? Because it
Taste
was
the
a man
Father,
with
yeah.
milking
Taste the
boots. wasn't
sun, taste the sun, taste the Holy Spirit.
All right,
I'm forever scarred.
we're moving
by that
on.
screenshot.
We're moving on. Are you gonna move this on, Keith, or you want me to?
No, this is meant to go off the rails. This is the whole point. Who should
Well,
we start with?
I mean, Keith is ex-Catholic. He used to taste the sun.
Okay. So basically, what this is the end of the year. And you haven't even explained what's going on, Keith. Come on now.
Well, so everyone knows what's going on. We come and we talk shit for fucking ages, and then we eventually talk about video games. So yes, we are going to do a wrap up of the year. We're going to talk about some highlights, some potential lowlights, and then Liam is going to give us the Pixel Points game of 2023 because he is the best person here, not just because he won the Game of the Game Awards. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing you won.
Dan won the fantasy league. That's right.
Dan won the fantasy league. Yeah, and I would totally have cursed Michael to never post about Grand Theft Auto again.
I can't get my GTA 6 news any other way. So
So we'll start.
I rely on him.
We're going to go person by person. So the categories we gave were. Please let me just
Drum roll.
reiterate what the categories were.
I can cover it.
Best game.
There you go.
Best game doesn't have to be from 2020. So the best game we played this year, but it doesn't have to be from this year. The best moment of 2023, the most disappointing game, and our most looked forward to game for 2024.
Oh no, no,
let's start
game was not on that category, so people did not put game. So they played around with that one.
Okay, well, I don't really.
You called it just look forward to, so people
That's
play with
future
it how they want.
2024.
Okay, let's start with Mikey, because then he may be less loquacious through the rest of the show, but he is drinking, so let's see what happens.
No chance. All right. All categories or just one category?
Well, I'll read them all off for you, and then you can just talk about them. So for Mikey, his best game was RE4 Remake. His best moment
could have been Hi-Fi Rush or Liza P.
Best moment was the Jones Bossman post-game awards podcast.
Reunion.
Most disappointing. Yeah, I didn't have enough space for reunion, so I just said pod. Most disappointing game, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And 2024, look forward, Dragon's Dogma 2. And his favorite game of all time is Half-Life 1.
Nice.
Feel free
Which
to.
also could have been RE4, because I'm like, well, how many times have I played this game? I've played it on GameCube, on PC, on Wii. I tried someone's on PS2, and then I played it again on PC, and now the remake on PC again. So I'm like, I've played this game probably in its most iterations of any game. Does that make it the best or my favorite? There's an argument. But
I would say that's a pretty coherent argument for the game I've played the most times on the most systems.
But I have played through Half-Life multiple times, in multiple iterations, but like all on PC. It has spawned or was the engine for a lot of my favorite games, and created the environment that allowed for Half-Life 2, for Portal 2 to happen.
Yeah, but that
Half-Life Alyx.
That seems like a superfluous justification, because the game itself should be your favorite thing, not the fact that the game then spawned other stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like, or it would have been Commander Keen 4, Goodbye Galaxy, which I've played through hundreds of times.
Also, note to self: when trying to get Mikey less loquacious, don't ask him questions. Move on swiftly. So,
of course. Well, what do you expect? I speak. I'm a man who speaketh.
I do.
I like to speaketh.
I do need the man to speaketh his other three options on why he chose them. So why is it the best moment with Jones and Bossman? Why was the best moment?
For me, that was the best moment of 2023, like specifically in gaming. Because it reminded me of what we didn't know we had on like the OG Easy Allies podcast, of those two personalities bouncing back and forth. And it made me realize how, unfortunately, how far EZA has dropped as far as wow, this is a unique combination of people. And I laughed more during that podcast of Jones and Bossman going back and forth for the first time in however long than I did during any other thing I consumed this whole year. Like those two, like I laughed so much and just like stopped, leaned back, paused, had to wait, and then resumed. And it gave me just the singular, most concentrated amount of actual joy, that wasn't bouncing off anyone else in the room or anything like that. Just singular personal joy was that kind of reunion podcast with Jones and Bossman. And I'm sad we don't have it, and makes me appreciate what we used to have. But that was my best moment of 2023.
I mean,
I'm kind of interested in Jones's novel.
I'm kind of interested in why Evan is paying no attention to this podcast and just finding pictures of a man feeding a baby with his own boob from Blasphemous 2.
Oh my god.
No. I totally listened to what Mark was saying.
So Evan, would you like to repeat?
His book is good. His book is good.
Evan, could you tell the class what we were just talking about, please?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, going back to Brandon Jones and Kyle Bosman, you look at Easy Allies, and it's like those were like the key components for me that made them interesting, and them leaving and watching Easy Allies and like hoping like things would be okay, and then coming back, you realize what you lost, and you just wished that like you realize like, man, like if these people stayed there, but I understand why Brandon left and Kyle Bosman is doing his
I don't
his
care.
own thing,
You're still getting detention for not looking like you were paying attention.
I feel like for the Easy Allies podcast, like, and I agree with you, Mike, 100%. I feel like Brandon Jones was the adult in the room when everyone else, except for like Blood is the same, but
Blood's still the adult.
Blood's still the adult in the room too, but he wasn't on camera as much in compared to Jones. And I felt like Jones reined in all the crazy personalities, because you have Bossman, who's a crazy personality. You have Huber, who's a crazy personality. You have Damiani, who's a crazy personality. And you needed that like centering piece. I feel like Blood just doesn't do it for me.
Because and Jones, even though he is in a way the straight man, he is the straight man who is the only one who can break Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the straight man who has the key to breaking Kyle, and when that happens, it's amazing.
It's from all the Pokemon hours. So why is Legend of Zelda your most disappointing?
Because it did not have the same hooks, like on a technical aspect, and I absolutely understand all the people who are like, I played this forever and stuff like that. I got myself into the grind of playing Tears of the Kingdom, and I enjoyed myself. I had a good time, and I was playing it maybe like 2 to 3 hours a day, like for a long stretch of time. And then I went on vacation in July, and for 1 week of not playing Tears of the Kingdom, and when I came back, I could not get myself to jump back into that game. Not because there was something else I wanted to play, but because I'm like, there's like infinite stuff to explore or whatever, but I'm like, what's going to be at the end of that? A disposable item. Maybe a short quest line or something like that has some dialogue or whatever, but I'm like, and so I want, if I can, I only have a couple days left, I wanted to try and finish it by the end of the year, but like, I got out of the hooks, it did not have the hooks to bring me back in. Despite, like, I'm like, I agree, like, there's a lot of cool stuff, but like, it is, like I was talking with my friend last night, it is Breath of the Wild 2. It is Breath of the Wild plus a really cool mechanic, but 70% of the game is still just Breath of the Wild.
It's the Majora's Mask.
Yeah, that's a fair comparison.
To be honest, but there's enough weird stuff in Majora's Mask. I like Majora's Mask almost as much as Ocarina of Time. Like it's close. It's a close comparison. I get you, but to me, it's not that Tears of the Kingdom is a bad game. It is not shit. It is not shite. It is a good game, but it did not have the. And I'm actually glad that it won as little as it did at the Game Awards. To me, that actually was. I'm like I agree. Like that, it should not have won. Like, it should not have swept a Game of the Year again, because there's nothing wrong with derivation, but it just, I was like, I have such high hopes, like, because they come around so infrequently, of a Legend of Zelda game for what it feels like, and this is the first one that I'm like, well, I basically can transpose my feelings of a previous game almost entirely, plus a little extra, and it just didn't keep its hooks.
All right, one for the final one. I promise, Keith, it's the final one. Also, Keith, you probably should look at the screen because Evan just did something I don't know if you want to look at. But the final one: why Dragon's Dogma 2?
Because it is weird and jank. Like, I looked through all the games that are coming through, and I own Final Fantasy VII Remake. I did not get more than 2 hours into it. Like people can use that as bet bait or something like that for something far down the future. Like, Mike, you must finish Final Fantasy VII. And I want to be part of the zeitgeist, but I'm like, dude, I can't get into this. I think I'm not saying I'm above it, but I'm outside of the the spherical gravitational influence of Final Fantasy VII. And Dragon's Dogma 2, I had so much fun playing through Dark Arisen with its mechanics and stuff like that. And I think Dragon's Dogma will be like that wonderful jank RPG that is definitely not the best, but I'll have the most fun just playing through it, like however much time I do play through it during the year. And
I wonder what they're gonna do with the characters that you build.
The companions or whatever.
Pawns.
Yeah, the pawns.
Pawns, yeah.
It would be really cool if you could like share those with your friends.
It would be awesome if you could share them directly, because you could you make your pawn and it goes, because you have your main pawn that goes out into the aether and people can hire it and stuff like that. But that combined with a lot of the people I know and a couple of streamers I watch who like are going to be into it, I'm like, so I will have plenty of Dragon's Dogma 2 content for at least the first half of the year. And that's something for me to look forward to. And short of like, we don't know of any like Half-Life based stuff or other, like there's no God of War 3 or other things like that. There's a lot of this big stuff that we might get revealed at later points, like from Sony or other things like that.
Yeah. And
short of like, maybe Silk Song, like I'll play it and I'll beat it, but like I don't know, it will be and it will happen when it happens, and I know it's not for 2024, but like Grand Theft Auto just has no draw for me. Like,
well,
it's a thing that I still have never
coming out until 2025 anyway. So
no, I know, but I still have never played 5. I've never played a single GTA. Like, and so this is unlikely to change it.
All right, Mick Womble, who's next?
Let's go with Evan, so it looks like he's paying attention rather than fucking around with pictures the whole time.
So Evan,
I am GT.
three times this podcast, you've gone Mikey Evan. I'm sensing.
I'm totally listening.
I feel like you two.
Mikey.
I feel like the Mikey and Evan
GTA
podcast
6 is not on my. It's not on my radar. It's not on my radar either.
Evan's doing collages while Mikey just talks the entire time, and then.
I'm listening, man. I can.
Evan's going to be doing lines on the chalkboard.
All right. Evan's list. Best game.
I must look like I'm paying attention. I must look like I'm paying
Evan's best game was quote unquote, so I just put Blasphemous 2 because I assumed that was what it was. A best moment, the final boss of Tears of the Kingdom. He put style over challenge. Most disappointing game. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. In 2024, look forward. This is my favorite. Pony Island 2, Panda Circus.
That's not a real
the game that's actually doing something interesting with the medium, not just over the shoulder third person.
Is that the new Undertale game?
No, it's the maker of apparently the first Pony Island game, which was not on my radar. I never played it. They made Inscription, Mick Womble's favorite game. And
I wanted to like it, but I fucking hate it. I fucking hate that game.
I've heard nothing but good things about that game.
Because I wasn't clear whether Pony Island 1 actually was a thing.
Evan, talk about your picks and stop fantasizing about this milk.
I like milk. I drank it a lot, but I didn't grow as tall as McMomble or Mike Skew or Liam, unfortunately.
You don't have to drink milk. You can just eat protein. It's fine.
Well,
I don't drink milk.
I'm too late now. I'm 38. I don't think I'm growing any taller. If anything, I'm growing shrinking. Yeah, I was growing shorter, which is not a thing that happens. Yeah. So Tears of the Kingdom is actually my game of the year. It's I don't think it's any surprise. I do agree with Mike Skew in the sense that I think Game Informer gave the best review of Tears of the Kingdom, where everyone was throwing 10s at it, and they gave it a 9. and I don't remember who, maybe it was Kyle Hilliard, who was the person who reviewed it, had said it should be a 10, but you just don't have that first time of experience because Breath of the Wild already happened. And I totally agree with that. I really get that. Like, you play this game, it's like this is amazing, and I played it for over 140 hours. It makes me feel like playing Mario 64 for the first time when I was 12 or however old I was. It brings me back to that moment where like video games are everything. Times are simpler. Like Saturday morning, waking up and play video games, like on the carpet with a SNES controller in my hand. It really, really brings me back to that. Very few games do that, but it is the second time around, and it loses that luster on the outside of it. And
it's like you can only catch lightning in a bottle once.
Yeah, it does have that effect.
But I'd argue they never caught lightning in a bottle the first time. That's so
Well,
frustrating.
Mitch.
In your opinion, and I would agree with you. I mean, it was welcome to the blandest open world, and I mean that in terms of its color palette. Because everything is just green and brown.
Yeah, welcome to us attempting an open world game. Are we that original? No. Are we doing anything to push the medium? Not really, because games have done
delete you
this.
from this collage.
Hindsight's 2020, right? Like it was not even supposed to be on the new system. It was going to be on the Wii U. So, like,
which is where Evan played it.
So the things that they did with the game may have been impressive if the Wii U had been a current console at that time when it was released.
It was a current console because it was out at the same time as the other consoles. Can we get over this
also
nomenclature stuff? If it's out at the same time, it's current. Also, that's the way time works, for fuck's sake.
Also, it did have technical issues on the new hardware, too.
Yeah. But in this same exact situation is probably my personal favorite Zelda is Twilight Princess. Because it was the right moment of time. Like, it was the first time I was at a position to raise the capital and buy the new system myself when it came out on launch day with a Legend of Zelda game. That was an incredible experience that like I cannot replicate. Like
I guess in my mind, in a nutshell, and I hate to bow down your game of the year. I'm so sorry, but just for me, it's like
it's fine.
It's like the way
my
you
opinion. I don't care.
The way you like are saying it, it makes it to me as like if I were to introduce a child to video games, I'd make them play Zelda games. Like I don't know how playing Zelda as an adult, it's more frustrating to me to play that game. Because it's so basic. Like the combat is like if a 2-year-old made combat. Like I don't understand why it has to be that simplified. Like we're adults here. Come on.
I think that's a bit harsh, but
yeah, I mean the combat's fine. It's just the fact that your weapons.
It's simplistic.
You wouldn't give a kid like a Hi-Fi Rush or Devil May Cry or something like that.
Platinum game.
That'd be funny for like.
Hey, I played Resident Evil as my first game. That game is not. That's decently complicated.
What I would say is that the picture that Evan's done has now looked like he's doing some kind of, I'm assuming, thing that he did at university, a frat party, whilst Matt looks on and laughs.
So what is it about the boss battle, Evan, though, that makes it the best moment?
I haven't beaten it yet.
Oh, it was 100% spectacle over a challenge where I'm in the party of I think 95% of boss battles and final boss battles specifically are terrible. They are. I get the idea of like, okay, it's a culmination of everything you've learned in the game and all this type of thing, and there's always some sort of frustrating element to them, or slightly underwhelming, or you die once or twice. And some games that makes sense, like a Souls game, like you have to die, like in Blasphemous as well. Like you have to learn the combat from the boss, and trial and error. But a lot of games, you're at that moment where like the music is soaring, you're in it, it's the pinnacle of everything, and then you die, and then it restarts like, oh, okay, well, let me do that again. And then you're on your third time and it loses its luster, and Zelda does away with that, where the end of the game is not necessarily hard. And so what it does is it focuses on like a more like Ghibli kind of movie aspect. It's all about the spectacle. It's not difficult. You're going through something that's quite easy to beat, but that's not the point. Like, not every game has to end in a boss battle that's challenging. It's rewarding you for this giant journey that you've been on, and I just thought it was absolutely amazing. Like, it's impossible to die, and that's not the point, to be challenging. And
the boss battle is more of a
after that,
victory lap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think there's it, and you know, that's not, it doesn't gel with every single game. That's not what I'm saying is, but in this particular game, I think it was that victory lap.
It's a choice. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a slight epilogue, if you will, to the end of that to kind of all wrap it up and tie it in a bow. I'm like, yeah, this is in terms of this game particularly, I think Final Fantasy 16 did something similar. Like, yeah, this is great. I think this is the way to end this game, and after 140 hours, I was like, this is perfect. I love the way that they ended this game.
That makes sense. I feel like even in like Final Fantasy games, you've got the main boss, but there's like all the optional bosses that are way harder.
Stuff.
Yeah, like Ultima Weapon and stuff like that is all way harder.
Yeah, save that for the end game type of stuff.
Right.
Why is Xenoblade such a horrible game in your opinion?
I think the game has no respect for the player's time. The idea is like most of the game is you're going like it's about these people that are in a war that will never end. There's two sides of the battle, and that plays out from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 through 3, and they're in this Ouroboros type of loop, this vicious cycle where it's like, I think they're commenting on the military industrial complex, where it's just this wheel of war that keeps going, and you're caught up in it as teenagers that are forced to fight. Say what you will, like kids sent off to Vietnam to die and all these types of things. But the main meat of the game is you're going from base to base, and it's like you go to a base and it's like, oh, you have to build rapport with the base is one of the main things. It's like, oh, someone is lost in this section of the map. Can you go find them? Like, okay, I go find them. And then another thing is like, oh, some guy wants to he battle you. Can you go? And after a while, I'm like, every base is the same ad nauseum. So I'm in hour 80 where I'm in base 57. They're like, oh, like, let me guess. Some cunt, we're okay, right? How close, how far are we into this? Wandered off into the wilderness and you haven't seen him for 2 weeks. Let me guess. I'm going to find him, and then I'm going to have to fight a couple of enemies that I'm going to beat really quickly, and then report back to the base. And it's just fucking nonsense. Like, that's why Final Fantasy 16 pisses me off so much. It's like, it is so much superfluous extra bullshit. We're like, who is writing this shit? Horizon Forbidden West had the same problem. Okay, off the top of your head, tell me your favorite Horizon Forbidden West side quest. Okay, I'll save you the time. You can't think of one because there isn't one. They're all fucking completely forgettable.
I just have one. The rest are forgettable. I just have one.
Okay, one in a game that's 80 hours long.
Agreed.
It's absolute trash. And there's this love story that's supposed to bloom in the game, and it's like so unconvincing. It's just exposition told in very, very sloppy ways, very, very anime-esque, where the characters would basically turn to the camera and be like, we have no interesting way to delve this exposition to you, so we're just going to fucking explain it to the audience directly. And I didn't buy it, and I thought it was trash. It's super disappointing because Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is really, really good. 2 is like waifu trash. All like the women have like giant breasts and stuff. It's embarrassing, which I skipped. But
that'll be the one I play.
That Amaranth DLC.
Yeah. And final question: why Pony Island 2?
Oh,
Because My
because
Little Pony.
Inscription is My Little Pony, baby. I'm a
You'll always
what do
be
they
in
call
my
them?
heart.
Bronies?
Sony
I was gonna say
Pony.
Pony Bros. Sony Pony. By the way, I'm about to switch my bank account from Japan Post to Sony. So my
no
life
way.
insurance. No, yeah. Sony has a bank in Japan, so
Oh,
literally,
Jesus.
I have Sony life insurance. So my life is literally in Sony's hands, and my bank will be Sony. It's kind of fucked up, dude. Western Sony ponies are drooling at what I got going on.
They got
I
nothing
got a
on
Japanese
Evan.
wife too. The weebs, dude. They're so fucking jealous.
like,
What were we talking
If
God,
about?
only
you sold your
it's
Xbox.
only gravy if she worked for Sony.
You-
Then you really would be
you-
the master of the Sony ponies.
You were talking about
yeah,
Pony
yeah.
Island 2. You're talking about Pony Island 2.
Oh, yeah.
Evan
started
loves
at
it.
Pony.
Evan loves it because it's weird, it's pixel art, and that isn't a third-person action RPG. Thanks very much. Let's move on because he's talked enough. Right, let's go
enough,
to
fair enough.
Stefan.
That's
All
pretty
right.
true, actually.
Steppenwolf.
Stephens is Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom as their best game of the year. Best moment, typecast.
This guy knows.
Most disappointing game, Benedict Fox. In 2024, look
Oh.
forward to Warhammer 4000 Space Marines 2.
Right, so up till the end, it looks
40K.
like Stefan copied Evan's homework.
Oh, simpatico, man.
So for best game, I wanted to cheat and go between Zelda and Lies of P. I just haven't played many games this year, and I didn't. The funny thing is, I didn't finish Zelda or Lies of P yet, so I just had to choose which one I put more hours in.
So you could
And that
have
was-
picked
that was
the
Zelda.
Lies of Peeing in the Kingdom.
I'll give you a hint.
Yeah, he
Lies
didn't-
of
he
P
didn't
is
give
the
me
harder
a-
boss.
he didn't-
And a boss.
I was like, he didn't give me a combo. He gave me one or the other, and I said you can't have both.
I mean,
So what puts this bland open world club stuff together and make boats that you can take across water? What boats work on water? Game of the year for you.
Stop editorializing.
yeah.
I agree.
For me, most open world games I can't put that many hours into because I get burnt out really quickly because of my OCD. And the fact that I put 110 hours into this game, I think that says a lot for me. Generally, I think,
also haven't finished it yet. You put 110 hours and you haven't finished it. That's a lot.
generally an open world game, I'll probably put less than 50 because I'll just get burnt out. The last open world game that I 100%ed, like platinumed, was what was the Ubisoft game with that? It was like a
Watch Dogs.
no,
Far Cry.
it was the Greek one.
Gods
Odyssey.
and
Odyssey.
Monsters.
Assassin's Creed
Gods and
Odyssey.
Monsters changed to Immortals Phoenix.
Yep.
Phoenix.
Yeah, yeah.
I really liked that one because it was really simple and like there wasn't much to do. That sounds bad, but so and then for best moment typecast, that's just because it's my friend's game that they published, and it was nice to see that it was getting recognition. I played it and I liked it as well. It's Vampire Survivors-esque, where you use but you're using a mouse that you're like an orb moves across the screen, and then you're typing when enemies come close. Most disappointing game, Benedict Fox. Evan, did you ever play it? Because you had it for that awards thing.
I'm Metroidvania guy like you. I'll give them all a chance. Not to say that they're all good, but super disappointed in this game as well. Just everything
It's
about it was off.
sucked.
The combat, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to the adventure puzzle stuff, but it was so obtuse.
It's supposed to be like
logic-
Cthulhu, kind of, you know,
Yeah.
like mysterious, and it was all off, man.
I'm gonna play it again because they've been updating it a lot to fix issues, but right now it's most disappointing.
Is that on Game Pass?
Yeah.
It was,
It was day
probably
one
still
release.
is.
All right. I might give it a try after some fixes.
Cool guy.
2024, I picked Space Marine 2 because there hasn't been a shooter that I've actually really liked in a while. and I think this is going to change that for me because I really like the first one. But yeah, I think shooters, there's just has not been that many high quality shooters in a while.
Stefan, I've got a really important question for you.
Okay.
Do you want to be associated with a man that not very long ago was drinking milk from another man's teat?
Okay, man. Come on now.
And it looks like you two are sharing that same milk with the whiteness on that Cool Guys.
Well, to be fair, I have never played Blasphemous, so I'm
That's-
not that well acquainted.
Do you not understand? That is milk font.
All right, moving on.
And then hold on, real quick, my best game, that Xenosaga, which is related to what Evan was complaining about before.
Oh, your favorite game.
Which is Xenoblade 3. I do not like the Xenoblade games because they're similar plot wise to Xenosaga, but everything else is very different. Where it's the cinematics are like 30 minutes long, but they're really good, and I love that. And the turn-based stuff in it that's my go-to for RPGs, and I've played that game twice.
The Xenosaga trilogy needs to be re-released. I want to see that on modern hardware.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Who even owns the rights to them? Like, does Nintendo own the rights, or somebody
it's
else?
tricky.
I think it's Namco.
It is.
Yeah.
It's Namco, but Xenoblade had Cosmos in it, and Nintendo has a good relationship with Namco, so I think they could still
They could make it
release
happen. Yeah.
Is it Xenogears that is like the redheaded stepchild where the music's great, but it actually is trash?
Well, Xenogears is a great game. The second half, or the second disc of it, though, is sort of rushed.
Is that the one of the guy sitting on a chair telling you what happened?
Basically, yeah. So, like, the last third of the game is just text.
I thought that was qualifier as Gunslinger.
I like that game.
That's a good game, yeah.
I like Call of Juarez.
Should we
That is
go
a
to
fun evening?
Should we go to Dan's list?
Yeah, let's do Dan's list and just mock him incessantly. He's not here to avoid it.
He has some explanations, and one of them is hilarious because I think he mistakenly typed this wrong. But okay, you ready for this? His best game, Baldur's Gate 3.
There's no way he's finished this game.
To his best moment when he shockingly won the Sifted fantasy draft. I don't think he won the Sifted fantasy draft. I think he won our draft, but he put Sifted, and I thought it was hilarious, and it stayed on there. The
Sifted pixel draft.
Most disappointing, Redfall. And then he goes 2024. It's Princess Peach Showtime. Looking forward to see if Peach's new game is just a normal Mario side-scroller or something very fresh and new. And his favorite game of all time goes back to his first game he ever played, which was Pokemon Red.
Nice.
I should give him this then. I don't know if you can see that, what it says.
Oh, is that the cartridge?
It's a cartridge, but I can't read it.
Yeah, it's the ass edition. My ass edition. Like Brock is in a dominatrix costume in it.
God. Sorry, what were we going to say, Keith?
I was going to say I think Evan disappointed Dan, and then Redfall disappointed Dan again. So I can understand why Redfall is Dan's most disappointing game, because Evan built up their relationship so much with the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer that Dan was so looking forward to Evan getting a Xbox so we could play Redfall together, and then Redfall came out and it was dog shit, and Evan would have never played it anyway. He was just a prick tease, and
he was honey dicking Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. He's leading him on.
Never
more
heard
so
that
than...
phrase, but it sounds accurate.
You haven't watched the interview.
Well, yeah, Evan's leading Dan on so much he could probably be trying to get him to give him his bank details. But then Redfall came out and it was shit, and it meant that none of us were willing to play Redfall multiplayer together. So yeah, I agree with Dan on that one.
I mean, to go off yours, I forgot Redfall released this year.
Yeah,
that's how bad it was. When
that.
he put that on there, I was like, I already did mine, and I was like, dude, I forgot that game came out. And
I remembered it came out. It's just I didn't find it disappointing that it was shit.
Well,
because I thought it was going to be shit.
I thought it was going to be shit.
That's
it was shit, so I completely erased it from my memory as a game that existed on this planet.
So Redfall will always be known as the game that stopped me from buying an Xbox Series X for another 3 months.
Ooh.
Ouch.
And then, let's go to mine. How about we do mine?
Evan, real quick, just snap judgment. Swiss, Russian, Japanese.
What?
Japanese?
Japanese.
All right.
Oh,
You've
beer.
chosen what I used to open my beer.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus. My God.
Don't cut yourself on stream. Just kidding.
Holy shit. All right.
Hey, children.
Here's Japanese.
Hey, children, you want to know how Daddy lost his finger? Watch the podcast.
He went Japanese.
Why do you have a bayonet?
Why doesn't he? Just don't ask him that kind of question. We
You're
all know
muted.
the answer.
Yeah, Mikey, you're
You
muted.
muted yourself.
That's fine.
I think he muted
it's
himself to help us out, so he didn't have to worry
I think it's
about it.
because I think he mouthed when the British are coming. Let's move on to.
All right, my picks.
It's still going.
I think his entire audio must have go out and he didn't realize it. Anyway, so my picks: best game, Alan Wake 2. Best moment, putting down Starfield to never play it again. Most disappointing. Most disappointing game. I changed it to just most disappointing thing. Layoffs and studio closures. 2024 looking forward to Senua Saga Hellblade 2, which I wanted to put something else, but I wanted to half honor Dan's request. I wanted to put in my 2024 look forward to finally seeing Xbox put out good games. However, I wanted to at least live part of the punishment, so I decided not to put that in there. But I had to put the Starfield one. It's just like you can't. So it was going to go in my disappointing, but I thought this would be better. So Alan Wake 2, I am not done with it. I'm currently playing it. However, this game is amazing. I think Remedy this is their magnum opus. I think they have blended mediums like they wanted to with their past titles in this title, along with things like taking the environment.
Mute the baby.
Mute the baby. Along with taking.
That's the 4-year-old, not the baby.
Kick the baby. It reminds me of Dinosaurs. That was a good TV show.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The mama.
Yeah.
Umami. Anyway, so, but I think they're melding. Honestly, they're really melding the mediums together in a way I've never seen in games before. I also think the creativeness of, without giving it away, there's aspects of how in Alan Wake's section of the game, you use his actual script writing to change the environment around you to be able to solve puzzles and things like that. And I feel like I haven't felt, because the games are an SSD now with fast loading and things like that, I felt like I haven't felt a game this revolutionary since the Medium.
Call of Juarez Gunslinger.
No, I was gonna say the Medium, when you could do the dual
Also,
environments.
Do you remember, Mitch? Have you played Call of Juarez?
I never even heard of it.
So it's a Xbox 360 era game, and in that the story is being told by a guy in a cantina, and he's saying, "Oh yeah," and then I went to this place and we had the shootout. No, it wasn't a barn. It was in a bar in this place, and the whole thing shifts in the game from a barn to a bar.
Interesting.
So yeah, it has been done before. Obviously, the technology has evolved, and the speed and slickness of it.
And that was the narrative hook for like if you got shot, he's like, wait, that's not how it happened.
Yeah, if
And-
you died, it's like no. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I guess that has been
it's
done
happened before.
Okay. I
Mitch, it's $3 on Steam if you want to pick it up.
Let us all buy
highly
him
recommend
copies. So we need 6 copies of Call of Juarez sent to him right now.
Jesus. But yeah, I just think like even in the modern age, even with that being said, I still think even with that, the way they're doing it is still unique, different to the style that they're going for. But in the end, I really just having a good time. It's scary as hell too. Like I think I've not been this scared playing a game since Resident Evil 2. Even the remake actually was close enough to this, but this is even better. I had to stop playing last night because it was too dark, and I'm in a nursing home, and it's dark and scary, and there's a lot of different kinds of
I
jumps.
thought you lived in an apartment. What are you doing in a nursing home, you weirdo?
Yeah, I know.
That's out of control.
There's just a lot of
It's
ways
real
to
quick.
scare you, but mechanics are good. So.
Real quick.
Are you just saying you hate
because
senior
they're
citizens?
both. Ooh.
Sorry, what?
My question is, because I have both on my list to play, and I own at least one of them, would you play Control first or Alan Wake 2?
I would play.
Control.
I would play Alan Wake 1 remastered if you haven't played it, because you will be entirely lost without playing the original. And then I would play Control.
Alan Wake remastered.
Control.
Yeah,
then,
absolutely.
Because
Okay.
there is
Because I'd like to go through the Remedy verse.
there is
but I just haven't had the
references
time.
to the FBC. It's actually a little more. It stands out a lot more. It'll make a lot more sense. Things would.
Do I need to play American Nightmare?
No.
American Nightmare is not canon, allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
actually
You can't play over on console anyway.
Yeah, you don't have to play American Nightmare, and technically you really don't have to play the DLC either. You can if you want to. However, you can just play the Control. I haven't played the Alan Wake DLC, and I still am following
Yeah,
it.
because I wanted to get through the Remedy verse, like short of what was that Xbox?
Quantum Break.
Oh, Quantum Break, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
not the
was like-
Remedyverse.
Yeah, I was like everything short of Quantum Break. I wanted to play through.
Yeah, I feel like they mastered here what they
Break.
wanted to do with Quantum Break, and I think they mastered it here. Well done to them. Amazing. I'm still playing it, and I'm having a blast. Amazing moments left and right. Putting Starfield, well, that's
Speaks for itself.
Speaks for itself. Layoffs and closures, that's disappointing. Games have been selling like hotcakes this year, record profits, and somehow we're laying off people and closing studios. Embracer Group, F you. You're worse than Bobby Kotick, in my opinion, because you actually brought in these studios just to try to sell yourself, and then when you couldn't sell yourself and you weren't pretty enough, you decided to sell all your best assets. Sounds like a thing you would do.
I would say, Mitch, that there's a difference between being openly evil, like on purpose, and just being plain stupid. And I would say Embracer Group is a great example of just being plain stupid.
I would just say both. But yeah, I see what you're going for.
Let's see what happens.
And then Hellblade, I'm looking forward to hopefully that game being good. I'm scared.
Do you know what, Mitch, about Hellblade? I never want to see any footage of anything developer related or a trailer again unless it's got a fucking release date on it.
Not only a release date, I want to
yeah.
see a chunk of real gameplay sequence and not little spurts. And I know you all are. I know you all were saying that one sequence with the giant troll is gameplay. I don't believe that. I don't believe that's actually what's happening in the game when you're playing it. Really don't. I believe that's all
It's borderline
scripted.
Deathloop at this point.
Yeah.
Like they keep showing the game, but you still, after 4 trailers, you still don't know what the game is and is about.
I really like to know what the
Excuse
story
the
is and
statement.
where it takes place, because of the ending of the first one is very loose-ended, and this is a sequel, but is it a prequel? I'm not sure, and that's where I'm really confused.
The last trailer makes it.
Or a
seem
Lion
like
King
it's-
1.5 in between cool.
There you go.
The last trailer makes it seem like it's just more of this.
It does, yeah.
Yeah,
So
basically. Which, I mean, I kind of like, but I was hoping they would evolve a little more, than just doing the same thing. So, like, my nervousness, if it's the same mechanics with not really a lot of new, then I'll be extremely disappointed because I really think they had something going that they could really build on, and I'm nervous.
Based on the background, your favorite game is Virtua Cop 2?
Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil, the original. The remake is close, but it actually did not have.
Well done, Mitch.
It did not merge the two campaigns well enough to be able to make it into my favorite game of all time, because it was close. If they could have merged them, it would have made it, and it would have been like better than the original.
Real quick, as a Resident Evil 2 aficionado, do you subscribe to the concept of tank controls are a design choice or a limitation they had to deal with?
I'd say both. It's a design choice they had to make because of the time period, and I actually think it's perfect for what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
it may not be conventional for what people want. However, if you're going for a camera angle that stays there, the only way to best control it would be tank controls.
Yeah, it's just like the developers themselves are like, oh no, we hated that, but that's all we could do at the time with what we wanted to accomplish. Like, we absolutely would have done anything but the controls we did.
Well,
but that was the only one that worked.
I think also over time, when people really learn the controls, it's actually extremely effective. Especially, it's like example, if I'm going straight through a hallway and it switches camera angles, and technically I'm not facing straight, but as long as I'm still holding straight, the player will keep going in the direction I want it to. It's that most people freak out and go, oh my god, I'm going to turn around, and then they let go, and then they have to reassort themselves with the controls again. It's like, just go with the flow. Anyway.
Those games have such a huge speedrunning community, and it's like hella fun to watch.
Oh yeah, I love.
Is this one of the ones where you can do it as tofu?
Yeah, Tofu Survivor. Yep. If you get it done in 2 hours, I believe you can. And with both campaigns, you get Tofu Survivor, which is just a giant tofu with a knife.
Wow, that's that's memory unlocked. Which
I think I've done. I've never gotten Tofu unlocked. I've gotten one campaign done in 2 hours. The other one I can't get done that fast. I can get it done in like 3.5 or 3.
So before we move on, and I've actually enjoyed Mitch's discussion more so than most, which doesn't normally happen. I'd just like to reference the idle game chat script on Evan's wall, which is like getting the tattoo of your ex-girlfriend and then forgetting to have it erased before you meet your wife. So let's move on to Matt.
All right. Yay. Matt's list is best game is Talos Principle 2. Best moment is I don't know how to pronounce this. Monsi's clutch ace at Counter-Strike tournament. Yours was a longer phrase. I couldn't put it in there. Most disappointing, Starfield. 2024, look forward to. Finishing games in my backlog. It is he picked Morrowind as his favorite game of all time.
Yeah. You used the graphic from Elder Scrolls Online more, not the original Morrowind, but I'm gonna let it go.
I couldn't find an original Morrowind artwork. It wouldn't. I'm sorry.
No, it's an old game, so that's fair.
I mean, I found an RE2 one, but I couldn't find yours.
And also, the graphics from the original Morrowind would probably hurt our eyes.
Well, I grab wallpapers, so usually concept art is usually what I grab from. So this was the only concept art was available to me.
Yeah, so best game of the year for me, Principle 2, it's more of the same. They continued the beautiful difficulty curve that they had with the first game. So all the puzzles just sort of keep going, and you just keep learning new stuff, and it makes more sense. And they've expanded on the story, and somehow they were able to keep a lot of the same stuff from the original game and sort of bring it in and make it make sense continuing on, which I didn't expect at all. Highly recommend. Haven't finished though. Best moment, if you haven't seen this,
I'll share it. I'll share it in the chat.
Okay.
In the general channel.
Yeah, Monesi. He plays for G2, which is a Counter-Strike professional team. They played against Navi, which is
Another Counter-Strike professional team by chance?
Yeah,
Because it wouldn't be very fair if they were playing against randos online.
Oh,
Did
they
you
were
say
playing
Navi?
McWumble.
Yeah, not a Svinceri, Navi.
I thought that was the Avatar race.
No, so Navi actually won they won all the games for that semi. I think it was the quarterfinal that they were playing in. But yeah, that one particular play was just fantastic, and the kid's like 17, so.
I look forward to never watching that.
It's kind of crazy. It's like 30 seconds of your life. It's worth it.
I'm watching it right now.
Most disappointing, Starfield. Not so much for the game itself, but just sort of everybody who's kind of mediocre on it. And
Oh yeah, me wanting to put it down.
that kind of killed it for me. That nobody else was interested in it. So I sort of fell off because everybody that was playing it wasn't really that interested.
I played it for 92 hours.
I know, but you didn't enjoy it. It seemed like you just pushed through just to get to the end.
Well, let's wait and see what happens.
I couldn't even get to the end.
You were too busy trying to avoid paying your bounty, your $250,000 whatever bounty that you had.
I'm still mad that is a bad loophole. That how did not a tester find that loophole? Because like that, if I was a designer, I would freak the hell out and go, "Oh my god, this person cannot get out of this."
I think that that was intentional, right? Because you can do that kind of stuff in Bethesda games, and they don't care. Like, oh well, if you got yourself locked into that, then you got to start a new character. Like,
but that's horrendous.
You weren't playing the game the way it was supposed to be played, or the way it's meant to be played.
Whoa! Let's not get into this conversation.
I'm gonna agree with that. So sorry.
Playing the game how you're supposed to play it. This game is supposed to play it any way the fuck you want.
You were completely ignoring like context clues and all that stuff.
Okay, let's just say that
you just swore to a kid.
Oh
yeah,
shoot!
The headphones are on a baby right now. The headphones are on.
You were like Mitch. You were like a small child getting an action figure for Christmas, and the first thing they do with it is throw it in the blender.
I didn't want this Transformer. I wanted Optimus. I don't want Starscream.
Awesome. But yeah, and 2024, looking forward to finish backlog games and going back and playing old stuff.
Name me 5 games in your backlog.
Oh shit! I got way more than that. But
quick, give me 5. I want to hear what they are.
Baldur's Gate must be one.
Let's see. Hold on.
Come on. Spirit fingers. Let's go.
Does that run on Linux? Does that run on Linux? Does that run on Linux?
Basically,
I'm telling you, the Steam Deck is a nightmare on Steam because of Linux.
I want to finish. Disgaea 5. I want to. There's a lot of like Square remasters that they've come out with.
Just tell me 5. You don't have to. Just give me 5. I don't need to know different ones. Just tell me 5.
I'll give you a list at a later date.
Oh my god! Actually,
more like my 2024 looking forward was either Dragon's Dogma 2 or my backlog, and my backlog is giant full. And the thing that is still top at my list is the entire Arkham series.
Okay. At the end of the show, we will do.
It's on sale at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I own every single one of them. I mean, I've owned them for like 7 years. I just have not been able to play them.
So whatever you do, don't play Mitch's favorite of the series, which, well, I don't know if favorite is the right term. Arkham Knight is trash.
No, it is not my favorite. No.
I didn't like it.
Arkham Asylum is my favorite. Arkham City is like,
close second.
It's
Same
like
for me.
It's a second, and then Arkham Knight is actually to me a close third. It's really like I
prefer Arkham Origins to.
I
Arkham
haven't
Knight.
finished that. It's on my list.
Oh,
but
that's the.
But actually,
that's the Christmas one.
I was gonna.
Yeah, it's the Christmas one.
It's a Christmas game.
I got to pay that one first.
But I do have to. Well, actually, you shouldn't. You probably should play.
No, definitely
Yeah,
don't.
Don't
play
play
Arkham
first.
Origins last.
But I was
No,
gonna.
I played through 3/4 of Arkham Asylum back when I still pirated games, and then they changed from games for Windows Live to Steam, and it broke the save, and I was just so crushed because I was like completionisting all the way through, and so I haven't been able to like pick up the torch since. But I'm like, I need to play. I need to finish those games.
At the end of the
I
show,
don't actually know what happens. They haven't been spoiled for me.
at the end of the show, I'm gonna ask for 2 quick backlog games that you want to get done for the new year. Just keep it in your brain. All right,
Okay.
moving on. What do we got?
Oh, it's me next, and then Liam. We have to finish with Liam because he needs to do our game of the year.
Oh, his game of the year is on his own slide, just so you know. All right. McWomble. Marvel Midnight Suns as best game. Best moment. Bobby Kotick is gone. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Most disappointing game. Also Starfield. 2024 look forward to. Star Wars Outlaws.
I could have just put Star Wars because there's another great Star Wars game coming out very early on next year. Right, so Marvel's Midnight Suns is brilliant. Matt, if you don't play Marvel's Midnight Suns, I don't think we can be friends anymore.
Okay.
Oh, also his favorite game is Mass Effect. I didn't know which one, so I gave you the whole series and a cool helmet.
Yeah, Keith?
Oh, yeah.
Keith? Which one?
Yes.
Which one, Keith?
Which one? What?
It's probably
Which
2.
Mass Effect?
2.
It's probably 2.
Oh, this is why.
2 is 2, 1, 3 for me.
2, 1,
Okay.
3.
Yeah, I agree.
That sounds like Monica from that episode of Friends.
Now, see, I do 2, 3, 1 because one's mechanics are really hard to work with.
1 is the better RPG,
Yeah.
which is probably why I put it higher.
And the Legendary Edition makes it so much
I
better.
tried to play it again,
Yeah.
but I really couldn't get through 1 again because of the mechanics. But I do like the RPG elements of 1. But I love how
Yeah.
2 feels.
So Marvel's Midnight Suns. I spoke to OTAPS on the Singapore's favorite Essex-based gaming podcast about how great Marvel's Midnight Suns is. If you've not listened to that, it's wonderful. It's only an hour of your life, unlike 30 seconds of some 17-year-old shooting someone. It's not as long as Evan chatting shit about some of the fucking game, whatever that was. It is the best superhero RPG ever.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
If it's on a discount, I will play it on my PC.
It is on discount at the moment. It's the Legendary Edition is half price, and I would suggest getting the Legendary Edition because the DLC is brilliant. But do not make the same mistake that I did. Play the DLC after you finish the main campaign, because basically, if you don't, you're handicapping yourself for the DLC.
I mean, I usually don't play DLC until after I finish the game, even if it takes place in the middle of the campaign.
So these were new characters plus a completely new storyline that I didn't realize was a completely new storyline. So
So it spoiled something from the main storyline for
no,
you?
it didn't spoil anything for the main storyline at all. It's completely separate.
Oh, okay.
But what I didn't realize is that an unlock you get for completing the campaign makes the DLC not playing on hard mode.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And the game is difficult, so if you play it on normal difficulty, you will have your ass handed to you at certain points. There are some quirks about the game. Go back and listen to what I said about it previously.
Can
But I
I
love
change
that game.
the difficulty in the middle of the, or do I have to start over?
Yeah, you can change.
Okay,
It's not like it's not. You can change the difficulty mid playthrough.
Okay,
It's
it's not
a Firaxis. Yeah, it's a Firaxis game. So if you want to bump the difficulty down and then back up because you've hit a point that you can't get past, you can do. Best moment. I nearly put the greatest ongoing game ever made, Cyberpunk 2077, winning an award for being at the Game Awards as the best moment. But no, Bobby Kotick being out of the industry is probably the best thing that happened in 2023. All we need now is all of the other people who act like Bobby Kotick to fuck off out of the games industry and be replaced with people who actually know what they're doing and actually care about the people who work for them. And then everything will be better. I think that's something that we can all agree on.
Keith, do you want to know what my alternative for most disappointing was?
What's that?
Mine was Bobby Kotick gets scot-free with a fucking golden parachute.
Yeah, but that was going to happen.
We already knew that was going to happen.
Yeah,
I know, but that's disappointing. That's disappointing.
Yeah, the guy who was the head of Goldman Sachs at the time of the financial crisis in 2008 made $408 million in 1 year and never faced any court proceedings, any Senate hearings, any judicial. 408 million in 1 year at the same time as the global economy crashed. Anyway, so my most disappointing game of 2023 was Starfield, because fuck that game. Right up the a-hole. I played it for 92 hours, which was probably 90 hours too long.
It's okay. I muted him for him.
I cannot believe how Bethesda made a galaxy-sized RPG feel so small.
Yeah, the fast traveling is really kind of what kills it.
It's not just the fast traveling; it's everything about the universe. It makes it feel tiny. So Mitch and I spoke about this when I bitched about it. I bitched with Mitch.
Bitched with Mitch. That should be a fucking segment. Damn it, bitch with Mitch.
So literally, you've got one. So this would be the one solar system where you start, and this is the main solar system for the entirety of the game. So I'm pointing to a light above my head for anyone listening.
Okay. I was wondering what you were pointing at. I just didn't get it.
This light over here is the solar system where you find an artifact that no one has ever discovered, despite being living and breathing in this solar system just here, but no one has found it except you. You find the thing that no one else has found, even though you're half a light year away, because you are the special chosen one person. RPG land. It is fucking garbage. And the ending is cringeworthy. All that stuff about the game really opens up when you reach the end game. Go fuck yourself. It's awful. You just basically play the game again. It's New Game Plus, and they make this big deal about how great the game will be once you've completed the ending. And
it's New
Matt,
Game Plus,
do not interrupt me when I'm on one. Seriously. The final thing that really got my goat was that you have to have unlocked 2 of the skills in the skill tree to be able to access the final fucking missions. And then nowhere throughout the entire game does it tell you that you need to unlock these 2 fucking skills.
Oh wow! Okay.
What are you doing? Seriously? And you say you're not playing the game right? Go fuck yourself. Whoever designed that can eat shit. You should never be a game developer. You fucking waster.
One thing I'll slightly agree but then disagree with you, McWomble, is the ending in the New Game Plus. I think it's a creative way to attempt a New Game Plus. I think execution was bad. It could have been something amazing as a New Game Plus if everything else was okay about the game. But
I think what tainted my opinion of the New Game Plus was the fact that I had to go away and grind for 5 fucking hours to unlock one of these fucking skills that nowhere through the other 80 hours that I'd played anyone had told me that I needed to fucking unlock.
What was your other Star Wars game that you were looking forward to?
I look forward to stuff. I didn't think I did that. That wasn't my shtick.
I know what it is.
Sorry, I've just got myself in a tiz.
It's Star Wars Hunters.
No.
Oh, that don't disappoint me like that. Don't do it to me. No, the other
That's
Star Wars
mobile
game
that's coming out.
Yeah, the other Star Wars game that I'm seriously, if this is good, not the nostalgia vibes on this may make me wait for it, buy a game full price,
Okay.
and that game is Dark Forces Remaster.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're doing that.
If this game is good, I'm gonna buy that because I friggin' love
Dark Forces, yeah, that's good.
Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight.
Nice.
And I'm really, really pissed off that the Disney Star Wars universe just basically took Kyle Katarn and threw him in the fucking bin because he's such a great character.
Is it the second one or the third one where you can person to do like the lightsaber combat stuff?
I missed part of what you were saying.
Is it the second or third game where you can go into person for?
It's the second game, so it's Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight, which now looks really rough. I mean, my god, that game looks old.
Yeah, I think that was Matt Kyle even was like, why are you doing that one? Why aren't you doing the second one? Because that's the one everyone wants you to do.
Yeah,
the second one really needs some work. And then Kyle Katarn also appears in Jedi Outcast, which is all right, and Jedi Academy, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Ubisoft, as much as Ubisoft, if they can pull off Star Wars Outlaws and it's great, I'm gonna. Next year could be a very, very happy Star Wars year for me. Unlike everything Disney have done with Star Wars since the original trilogy.
If they can show up Starfield as a space game, then Starfield is
I don't mind if Outlaws isn't a space focused game. I really don't.
Oh no, but space travel, when like doing it in real time and the space combat's decent and you can travel and the travel is more convenient than Starfield, then they have no excuse.
Even then, I don't mind if they do things like, the hyperdrive thing on Star Wars where you watch that. If that's hiding loading screens, I don't care.
That's fine.
That's just cool.
I can watch it all day.
But
I mean, I can watch it all day in Jedi Fallen Order. So
yeah, I've got Jedi Survivor next door to play as well. I got that for Christmas. So it's going to be a Star Wars filled 2024 for me.
Nice. All right, Liam. Don't give the game of the year, but here's your list. Liam's best game, Honoka, whatever you want to pronounce it, Star Rail. Best moment, Microsoft APK acquisition. But he also had extra stuff along it, so Bobby Kotick has finally gone away from the industry, blah, blah, blah. But really, it's the Microsoft acquisition. We all know it. He just wanted to add the Bobby Kotick stuff to appease McWomble.
It's that sweet Call of Duty library.
Yep. Most disappointing game. No, he needs wins for Microsoft to make himself feel better, Just more money spent equals more wins. Most disappointing game, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. 2020 you look forward to. I'm assuming you mean Atlas's new title. I don't know if I forgot to
No,
look it up.
I just mean Atlas in general.
Oh, okay.
They have a lot of games coming out.
Yeah.
Well, do you mean...
and let me correct you. When I say best moment, I said finally not being able to hear about the stupid Activision Blizzard acquisition.
No.
I'm fucking sick of it.
No. This is what you wanted.
This is what you wanted. This is what you get.
It's really weird because my brain's telling me something else. But if you say so,
but my
I'm fed up of hearing about it, and I'm glad that we won't have to hear about it next year because I'm sick to death of it. And I'm sure Microsoft will probably do a few things that piss everyone off, but as long as I don't have to hear about it, great. And yeah, Honkai Star Rail is my favorite game that I've played this year, but purely on the basis that I know it's not the greatest game of the year, but I had the most fun playing it. Because I don't think this would have happened if I hadn't first been burned by Final Fantasy 16. Because I wanted that to be an RPG, and what did it? It's an action game. Like, it's a really good action game with absolutely terrible side missions.
I tried to tell everybody.
I'm sorry, Liam.
Tried to tell everybody.
Every time you say honka, I'm thinking of Tonka, which is
Honkai. Honkai.
well,
Yeah,
I
honka.
thought he said honka for a second, and it made me think of Tonka, which is like
Bean.
a truck drive farming type brand. And there used to be a game called Tonka Trucks, and I played it when I was a child. It was great. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Tonka is also a bean which kind of tastes like vanilla, which is why people put that in certain confectionaries when they don't want to use vanilla, because vanilla is more expensive and also dying off because of climate change. But we don't get political on here. Not that I've done any politicking on this episode whatsoever.
Ever.
Check mark. Sorry.
So I think because I was so sort of disappointed by Final Fantasy 16, even though I thought it was really good. I think a nice turn-based game came out at the perfect time for me. I think the turn-based systems in that game are excellent. I think it sort of goes back to what Evan was talking about earlier about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 not respecting your time. And I fully agree. I'm so burnt out. I think Ubisoft are the devil because of what they've done to the industry. I'm sorry, people need to stop copying them. More content in a game does not equal a better game. I prefer less content and content that actually keeps me interested, actually feels worth my time. And I have similar problems with Genshin Impact, as weird as it sounds, but Star Rail fixes almost every single problem I have with that game. It has better gameplay, the systems are more well tuned. You wouldn't think that a turn-based game with so many characters could make such a balanced system, but they do. And the way the game keeps you playing is really interesting because you think, oh, you have a daily login, you have to keep logging in, and you'd get sick of that. But in actuality, I find logging in daily to be not hassle at all, and I find all of the new content they introduce every month to be quite interesting and different every month, and it keeps you hooked, but doesn't waste your time like a certain other game, Genshin Impact.
An interesting topic.
Liam feels like a jilted lover.
Well, it's funny, right? Because Genshin Impact is a good game, but it's bogged down by a bunch of systems that don't respect your time.
Well, it looks like Evan's not respecting our time right now, or we're not respecting his, because he's just watching an A24
I got something cooking.
I was gonna say, Liam, you brought up like one of the more interesting potential future topics, which is, did Ubisoft kill the open world? Did Ubisoft kill open worlds for people?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. And it's quite weird because we're now getting into this boom for games as a service, and even though it's now sort of dying, at the same time it's just sort of coming into being, which is a really good thing. But I think not enough people are looking at a game like this one and looking at how can we try to respect our audience and respect their time, offering new content on a regular basis, and also creating a system where we can totally take advantage of a small percentile of that gaming base that will frickin' whale for us. And I think that this game, more than any other, is just designed in such a way that I keep being impressed by it, even though I don't partake in those systems to a certain degree.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and also a little bit interesting how ahead of the curve the Chinese are compared to everyone else.
Well, are you really surprised that the Chinese are more interested in gouging money for people than anyone else in the world?
No, because everybody gouges money from everybody, but the Chinese do it in a more smart way where they get you on their side as they gouge money from you.
Yeah.
Is that strange? Meanwhile, you just play other games made from the Western gaming industry that are just constantly trying to gouge you for money.
Warzone.
Yeah, like Warzone, exactly like Warzone. It's just like a it's like a journey of feeling more and more disheartened by the game the longer you play.
Is it only mobile?
No, it's on PC, PlayStation 5, and
Okay.
and actually the mobile version's really good. I some like when I was away for Christmas, I would just play it on my phone. And
Yeah, Liam has 3
Multiplayer
accounts.
cross-save.
no, one account's enough to manage.
All right, moving on.
Anybody
Best
running
moment.
Parallel, like
Sounds
those
crazy.
people on Lord of the Rings online Battlegrounds where it's all collected together.
All right, best moment. Why is it? Well, is there self-explanatory, or do you want to move on to the next one?
It's also the fact that Bobby Kotick's out of the company. Like that was my main impetus for this happening at all. Because I think while I think it's great, it would be great if Activision could stay an independent company. You were never going to get rid of Bobby Kotick there. He's like a cancerous growth that was going to be stuck on Activision Blizzard until the end of time.
I mean,
He would be
like this-
Evan's face. So if we could transmorphosize, that is a word, in the blasphemous 2 Mantit, and then into Activision Blizzard King, Bobby Kotick would be Evan's face drinking from that tit for the rest of time.
However,
so-
I mean, I kind of see. Here's my thing. Like, and it's probably a bad theory, and you all could probably disagree with me. But I feel like Bobby Kotick would have been out of Activision because they basically would have paid him out eventually.
Never
I
gonna
think.
happen.
I think they would
The
have.
board was
I
completely in his
because
pocket.
because the
There
only
would have had to have been the scandal to have ended all scandals in not just probably the games industry, but every corporate entity ever to get his tentacles out of that.
But my argument is the whole reason this purchase happened was because they were in hot water and they needed to bail out, and then he was just gonna, bail out as they bailed out.
no.
They'd already started shopping the company around.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
so-
he's in hot water. He was in hot
No,
water all that
because
time.
He
Long
wanted
before that.
money. He's the person that did the sale,
He
and
would've-
not because he
would've-
felt scared about his position. He did it because he wanted money.
I think eventually he
This
would have
was
got.
time to sell the company.
I think eventually he would have got paid out, and then he would have been gone, and Activision would stay independent. But that's just me. Probably
I mean,
hot take.
Yeah, scandals aside, and however you feel about his person, did turn the company into a very big name in gaming.
Yeah,
Yeah. No.
like
So-
we hate Bobby Kotick, but that board loved him,
Yeah.
so much.
Well, yeah, because he personally appointed most of the board, who he was also paying.
But he also
exorbitant
loved them
amounts of
for
money
making
to.
them extremely rich.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who they all agreed to give Bobby more money every year. So why wouldn't they? It would be like if all of you were paying me shit tons of money every year, which you're not, but that's why I hate you all. If I were then
if you made line go up, that
Yeah.
Well,
like
also,
how could we
also-
argue with that?
But also, isn't it refreshing to see when you're like, look at what Nintendo, and it's like, okay, obviously this is not. I'm saying pie in the sky. This would never happen in reality. However, isn't it nice to see the Nintendo team take pay cuts for the executives to keep employees hired instead of doing what other companies do, which is continue to pay these exorbitant salaries and increases and lay off employees.
It's a little different in Japan though, because they can only make so many times more paid. So them taking pay cuts, money around.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Costco's own self-imposed thing is like the CEO can only make X amount of the average employee and no more. That's the law.
That's called socialism, and we hate that. And the people at the top should be able to do whatever they want, whenever they want.
It's not quite social. It's modified socialism. It's modified
It's-
socialism.
yeah.
Well,
It's
you know
just
what?
the system working for the people. And
It's-
the current
you
system doesn't.
commie bastards, can we move on?
I am not.
Also, it's not true because there's another video game company in Japan that also did not take a pay cut and had to let people go. So just saying, it's not a Japanese thing. It's a company thing. It's a values thing. or else it would.
Oh no, it absolutely. I agree. It absolutely is because even like the Nintendo, that was still a choice of theirs. Costco, that is a choice that they made because they're like, we want to make our company the most attractive to people to stay and work in it with it. And so yeah, that is a choice.
Yeah,
and
that's
and that's how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to choose the good option.
But
And then when it doesn't work, you're like, well, do we have the government?
That's
or
a
has
slippery
something else?
slope because then
Yes.
you end up you say you cap your CEO's salary as a percentage of performance or the midpoint of the average earner in the company. Then you start shooting people in the face because they wear glasses. And then you end up with communist Russia. That's the slippery slope that we're on.
Why did you single out Evan and
All right, most disappointing game.
I was thinking more about the Khmer Rouge, but whilst Liam talks about his most disappointing thing and then some Japanese stuff, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, so I won't get into it for too long, but I
Get into it as long as you want. You're the winner, bro. You get all the time in the world. We're not gonna play you off.
I'm sick of talking about it. But Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is the more I think about it, the longer time I have to think about it after I finished it, the more I think, oh my god, I do not want to revisit this game again at some point. I had a lot of fun swinging through the city, man. It was great. But the game is so all over the place in terms of the missions, the gameplay, the story especially, and the writing is just comically bad in places. It's such a disappointment after two pretty damn good games, and I think some of the writing in Miles Morales is some of the strongest out of all of these games, and I think it's like a major decline in writing talent in this one, and it's just cringy, and I don't want to revisit it. So I would say it's not a bad game, but when you look at it compared to the two previous games that came before it, it's a huge disappointment to me. And especially when you're dealing with things like Venom, the symbiotes, Kraven the Hunter, all of these cool concepts, and the game squanders it a fair bit and makes it illogical and dumb.
I see what you mean, Liam. I would agree in the aspect of I think Miles is just a better character.
I think Peter Parker's a perfectly good character, but was terribly written.
No. But the way they're imagining him and writing him, I think they do Miles better than Peter, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
Oh no, and I agree. I'm agreeing with you, Liam. I'm agreeing with you.
Are you worried about how they'll handle the Wolverine game now?
No, because I read the whole plot.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Well,
And it sounds great.
say no more. That makes me feel better about that game. I completely agree
That
with you,
game's gonna be
Liam.
awesome.
I platinumed Spider-Man 2, which is to say nothing because the first-party games are super easy to platinum. Holy shit!
Yeah.
We have a visitor. Yeah, there's something about this game, Liam, where it's the third time around. They don't do anything new with the side quests. The only thing they inject is a bit of social commentary that's unnecessary, and then add a couple of bits. Just there's more that you can. They needed to, for how long they spent in the game, they needed to find a different way to do side quests, and they didn't.
Yeah.
It's the same shit that you've already done, and what that does is while you're in between the missions, which are they're pretty good, it just reminds you of this I've done this before, and they should have thought of something different. And yeah, it just Venom. By the way, when we did our podcasts about what our predictions, I said you're definitely going to play as Venom in this game. That is an awesome moment in that game, but it's kind of few and far between.
Yeah, that was the overarching impression I got from the game, is that the last third or last quarter of the game with those mechanics are awesome, but the preceding 2/3 or 3/4 are quite literally Spider-Man 1, Miles Morales, like combined. Like you literally have done this for 100 hours already. Game.
Yeah, and it's not bad stuff, but you know, it's just
Mikey has Spider Boy in his apartment.
That is a Spider Lily.
Spider
More like
Mary Jane Watson in these games
Spider-Gwen.
is just the most.
Oh, dude,
she is so terrible.
she's
It's
so
embarrassing.
badly written. She's so bad, and she has the most powerful gun in the history of mankind. Like, what is this gun? There's no way she's stealthing around Craven's super.
Wasn't that like the biggest?
It's
Terrible.
Wasn't
It's
that like
so
the biggest?
bad.
The
At
biggest
the end of the game,
disappointment of
she's
the first
like
game?
killing
Yeah, it
symbiotes
was
left
the
and
biggest
right.
criticism of the
Hilarious.
first game, and then they very much were like, we're gonna double down and make it
They
better.
doubled down, man.
Yeah, like
Like
why do
nobody
that?
wanted this, and they doubled down on it. It's a big fu. It's so misdirected. Like they took it in the complete wrong direction in terms of the criticism. Of course, there were probably a bunch of loud assholes talking about like who knows what, like
Yeah.
cultural bullshit, and
Yeah.
they course corrected in a way. It's like we're going to prove them wrong, but it's like no, man, you totally missed the point. That's not what we were talking about. We're talking about we don't want boring gameplay. It has nothing to do about gender. It has nothing to do about Mary Jane being sidelined in the plot. It has nothing to do with that. I want to swing around fucking New York. And they totally were like, no, and they doubled down on it, and it was a huge
Is it a
miss.
Spider-Man game or is it a Mary Jane game?
I mean, I'll
Yeah,
admit,
exactly what I'm
saying, man.
I commend them for trying to make it better. I just felt it was a little better, but still not to the point where I feel like for me it was worth it.
I still really
just find
enjoyed it,
really funny because I think the problem because she's quite a likable character in the first game,
Yeah.
right? She's not that bad. Her gameplay section sucked, but the character itself is fine. But in this game, that it's like a writing mistake where they make her unlikable because throughout the whole game, she's going on about how she needs to find more balance between her and Peter's relationship. She doesn't like the fact that he's greater than her because he's freaking Spider-Man, for God's sake. You know, it's just like, so I get what they're trying to go for, where they want her to find her own sort of meaning in her life, where she can feel accepting of herself next to Spider-Man. But it just comes across as juvenile, childish, and very melodramatic and pedantic.
Like Mike's
That's
Q
just-
beating up
which
his
is
child
weird.
right now.
Which is because they do a really good job of that in the 1990s cartoon series.
Yes, exactly.
I just think
Yeah,
in my
there's already
brain, like
examples of how
for
to do
me,
it, yeah.
how I would have done Mary Jane, because I think like, I think I talked about this when we talked about Spider-Man before, but I think in a nutshell, what happened with Mary Jane is I really,
How I do Mary Jane is I roll it up and smoke it.
oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
I think in a nutshell, like they tried to make Mary Jane into more of a, take more of what made Peter Parker. And I really think they could have really leaned into, the modern age of like social media and Mary Jane being this like Instagram influencer or something like that instead of working for the Daily Bugle. Because like, why work for the Daily Bugle? That's Peter's thing.
Didn't they kind of do that with some of Miles's friends, like a girl from China who immigrated and who had a podcast and stuff like that? So they had like the super Gen Z millennial social media thing locked down with Miles, and all the people from Peter's generation were still kind of stuck back in the generation or two before. Like,
But she's not that
no
much-
one reads the Daily Bugle.
But like Mary
Yeah,
Jane
they're
and
like
Peter
5
are
years
supposed
between them.
But the thing is, like, Peter and Mary Jane they're in their 20s. They would still be hip and with what's going on.
No, I know, but they still treated them as if they were a generation.
Oh yeah,
and a
like
half
they're in their
before.
30s and 40s, basically. Like the way not connected with where. Yeah, agreed.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, even though they're only, as Liam said, like 5 years different between them.
Yeah, no, I totally
Also,
get it.
when-
They just
5 years
did
different between them. They make them act like they are like literally 25 years apart.
totally. I just think they could have done. I think if I think half of the problem with Mary Jane is just the way they tackled the fundamentals of that character, in my opinion.
And then, given what's happened in the real world, after everything's said and done in the game, you can't name your podcast The New Normal. You can't do that. That is fucking awful. It is so bad. I couldn't believe they ended the game with her talking about her podcast over once the story. It's like, who wrote this? It's so bad. And I like that game. I really, really like the game. But as Liam said, the writing is pretty damn bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what else has bad writing? Starfield.
I thought you were going to say Atlas.
I was going to say Atlas. Are we transitioning? All right, Liam, talk about what you're looking forward to with Atlas.
Yeah, sorry, I'll try and.
No, you're fine.
Atlas is releasing 3
award winner.
games next year.
You're award winner.
Okay.
Do what you want.
I'll take it.
It's your show.
They're releasing Persona 3 Reload, Unicorn Overlord, which is technically Vanillaware, but Atlas owns Vanillaware, and they are releasing Metaphor Refantasia. And all 3 of them look really great in 3 different ways, I would say. So it's like if you love turn-based Japanese RPGs, next year you are eating good, and solely because of Atlas. And I'm just really happy Atlas is doing so well, because I'm excited for the year coming up. And honestly, everything else is a little bit boring. It's like I wish I was more interested in Star Wars Outlaws, but I'm not. I wish I was more interested in Assassin's Creed in Japan, but I'm not. It just goes on. The open world genre is just in need of some change, and until then, I'll just look to RPGs like these ones to get me through, I think.
I've been so
Have
sick
you played,
of... Oh, go ahead, man.
Have you played SMT5 yet?
No.
Okay.
It's only on Switch as of now, so...
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna make a special edition for like all platforms.
Is it that SMT? Is that shin knee Mega Man's feeling tense, needs a massage?
Shin Megami Tensei, yes.
You got it, man.
I was gonna say, Liam, I'm with you about the open world games. Like, I am burnt out. I think the last one I actually really liked was Ghost of Tsushima, but I liked it because of its simplicity in being an open world game and not being a bunch of hundreds of lists and hundreds of things to look at, where it was like a little more condensed, and I really like that. But I think it has transitioned to me to really like these semi-open world games where they're slightly linear, but they're a little more open in their spaces, so you can explore a little bit extra and go here and there. I personally been really enjoying those more.
Jedi Survivor. Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to keep playing it, because I think that game is severely underrated, like this year.
I've heard that.
I did not like it.
Yeah. I think its performance problems really let it down at launch.
Liam, is it better than the first one? Because I was not overly enamoured with the first one at all. I thought it was
think it's
distinctly
very
average.
similar structurally. So it's like if you didn't like certain gameplay systems in the first one, you probably won't like this one.
No, I didn't. I just didn't like Cal Kestis. I thought he was a whiny bitch.
Oh, he's way better in this one, I would say.
I wanted to play Outlaw
really good.
Survivor, but like I was only going to play it on PC, and everyone's like, "It's still garbage. It's still garbage. It's still garbage." So I'm like, I'm basically waiting till it's half off on Steam, and then I'll give it a go.
Wait until 2026, and then you might be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it going to be on Game Pass if it's not already?
No, it's not going to
Well,
go
yeah,
on
it
Game
will
Pass.
be, but it's
EA Play.
EA Play.
Oh,
EA Play on Game
that's
Pass,
true.
but it won't be at least until middle of next year, if not longer.
Still, though, I mean,
Yeah, but
but
for
it
me,
has some of
because
the
of
best level design. Of like any game recently.
Yeah, but because of the open world burnout for me, I've been really liking those. So like Alan Wake 2 is that, which is like a, semi-open space with some linearity, and I really like that a lot. So I've been digging it.
Can
I
we
think that's
do
why I like
something?
the God of War games right now, the new ones.
Same thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Can we do something really, really quickly?
Sure.
It's basically Just Agree With Me award, where I say I'm going to put forward for our overall most disappointing game of 2023 as being Starfield. because it was the game that made me cancel my Game Pass subscription.
Oh, damn.
It made me cancel mine
I'll
to give
agree
me
with
my
you.
money back. So yeah, I'll go
I
with that.
also canceled. I canceled mine, but that was because I started getting a season pass to the Alamo, so I couldn't.
Just forget the
that.
second part and just say you canceled your subscription. We're good with
I
that.
canceled mine, but mainly because I quit my job.
Yeah.
So you're
McDonald,
saying
I
Starfield
agree
made
with
you not only cancel your Game Pass subscription, Starfield made you
Quit
quit
your job.
I was so disappointed in the game. I was like,
Starfield made me
"Yes."
quit my job to not play it.
All right. So before we go to Liam's game of the year, we're gonna quick go around the room and you're gonna guess. You have to give me an explanation. Just guess. What do you think is Liam's game and our game of the year? Mike, go first. Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only
Just tell
person
me a
on the
game.
podcast called Mike.
You didn't say Mikey.
I said Mike's Q.
No, you just said Mike.
Oh, okay. Well, Mike's
Anyway,
Q.
I'm guessing Liam's most anticipated best game of 2023, hands down, is.
Could just say it.
Did he freeze or?
He's done that on purpose.
I
I
think
swear
he's
he has,
frozen.
unless he has frozen.
I think he has.
That is perfect timing.
Oh no.
Okay.
Unless one of the kids has pulled the cord out of the
Right,
room.
that's what he does.
Because they're not paying attention to him. All right. Okay. Evan, what do you think is his game of the year?
I think it's either a sleeper hit Resident Evil 4 or Jedi Survivor.
Okay.
I don't think Honkai.
Jedi Survivor Resident Evil 694.
Okay. Burkoff, what do you think?
I don't know. I haven't seen Liam talk too much about Alan Wake.
Because he's not played it.
I don't think he's
I
played
know.
it.
Yeah.
I haven't played what I picked either, so.
Okay. Maybe Baldur's Gate 3 then?
McWomble.
I'm going to say Super Mario Brothers Wonder because because he thinks elephants have been underrepresented in video games for too long.
Stefan.
That's true. That's true.
I'll say Resident Evil.
All right. Our game of the year is. You can go ahead and say it, Liam.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Hey, the game we haven't talked about this whole podcast.
No one picked it.
I've
I
put
wasn't sure if you played it.
4 hours into it.
Like here,
I personally think that no other game could possibly contend with this one.
You'd have.
No,
You can't even see
I-
it.
I have like about 30 or 40 hours in this game, and it's all within still Act 1 because I've been playing it myself, playing it with other people, playing it with another group of other people, and it's all been different. It's all been different. I haven't gotten past Act 1, and I'm like, I need like hours of no children. I need to send my kids to boarding school, even though they're only 2 and 4 years old, so I can play this game.
What you need to
I
do
really
is
wanna
to
play
get them
I-
each
I
a
sat-
laptop and you play together. Just make
I
sure.
sat my-
Just make sure you get rid of the
I
sex
don't-
scenes.
I was gonna say I don't need my 4-year-old making the choice of vulva B or vulva D. Vulva D. or penis A or penis A. Come on, like that's not the choice they need to be making at Smoke.
Right.
Well, I think we should be listening to why Liam thinks this is the best game.
Well, I haven't played it myself, but a few months ago, I remember I just got onto a Discord call with a friend, like just to talk to them. He started streaming Baldur's Gate 3 because he was obsessed with it. And before I knew it, it was about 8 p.m. at that same night, and I've been watching him play this bloody game all day. And I'm not usually a person that enjoys watching someone else play a game. I mean, even though I was there to talk to him, but the game just constantly throws things at you that you're just astounded by. The level of writing, the quality of the gameplay. It's just insane. It's like, how did they craft something with this? It's like, because it's an open world game in a sense, but there's just so much to do. And every mission that you go on is, like, in terms of writing, in terms of what you're actually doing, is far more entertaining than even the best quest in a Ubisoft game.
Well, this is one of the things that pissed me off about Alan Wake 2 winning Best Game Direction at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Is how can you not have the game where basically any single playthrough is never going to be the same as any other person's playthrough? All of it is voice acted, so every single choice, of which you get multiple, every single outcome relates to something different, and all of that is tracked in game. How can that not be the best directed game of 2023? Because some people thought that Alan Wake looked a bit nicer and it was a bit more.
No, okay, I'm gonna slightly push against you. Slightly.
I don't fucking care, mate.
I'm gonna say I'll just well, all I'm gonna say is I think both are extremely well directed. Like, I think, to be honest, you could have gone either way. I think.
No, I don't. I genuinely don't think you can.
I think one of the problems with the games industry is when we say somebody directs a game, we look at things more from what we commonly associate with a director being, which is from a filmic perspective.
Film or TV,
when something's more
cinematographic.
When something's
and Liam hasn't been even drinking, people. I'm the one 4 beers in, and I can speak proper in it.
This is just how I usually am. But when something's more cinematic, we often sort of chuck that up to a game having a great direction. You know, we sort of compare it to the film industry because we perceive the film industry to be the peak of arts, and I don't think that's really true. So it kind of annoys me because even though I love games that are cinematic, you know, I like a lot of Sony games from years past. Being a game director really shouldn't just encompass that. I think when you look at a game like Baldur's Gate 3, it should really be, how do you get all of these small things, small parts, all of these different parts of what makes a full game, and get it together and make one cohesive product. And in this case, make one cohesive product that is just far and away above practically everything else around it. And it's just, I remember when the game came out, how you had a large group of developers, primarily from Ubisoft, which is hilarious, complaining about how this game puts all other games to shame in such a way that they find very bothersome and annoying, because there's only so much they can do in their job roles. And I thought, I hate the fact that they're saying this. I think that's shameful. And then I saw the game, I saw more of the game, and to be honest, I kind of got where they were coming from a little bit more.
Well,
that's the power of the game, that quality.
It's something that we've spoken again about, which is when we were doing my bitch with Mitch about Starfield. We did an entire episode about why every RPG should be like Baldur's Gate is stupid.
Yeah,
but there isn't necessarily anything wrong with saying what can we take from what they have done here, because it's basically like the NFL. It's a copycat league. So if Evan, fuck off. Is it either go to bed or contribute?
And that contribution.
That isn't contributing.
Contribute positively.
Yeah, that's just being contrarian. Is it just to put, if you really want to contribute, make Matt feel better and put some sexy streamer on because that's all he gets on his Twitch recommendations anyway.
Or put Starfield at least on that list. Damn it, he's got to feel good about the game he hated.
Well, just put an anime version of Sharon Stone on there, and we'll be good.
Marilyn Manson. You got to put Marilyn Manson on there. But no, I feel you.
I think Baldur's Gate is the game that I would really love to play, but don't have the time to want to dedicate to it.
I'm scared to play this game.
Says the guy who's already put 25 hours into Cyberpunk 2077. And says the guy who played a mediocre space RPG made by Bethesda for 92 hours.
It was funny. All right, so talking about game, one of the videos that I watched, Starfield, they were talking about the game had no design doc. So like the internal mentality at Bethesda was everybody knows what a Bethesda game is. We're just gonna do this shit, and so that's part of the reason.
And that is all Todd Howard's fault, because Todd Howard is just as much of a fucking hack as Hideo Kojima. And on that note...
they haven't learned their lesson. Like, they got that BioWare magic problem that they need to come to terms with.
It needs to get sorted out, for sure. Yeah.
Liam, let's you take us out on your high note of 2023. Is there anything you'd like to say to end this year and begin the new?
I would like to say that everybody that's excited for Hellblade 2 next year should probably lower their expectations, because it will be just more of the same, but with more polish and more cinematics. I actually got very nervous before I said that word, just because I said it wrong earlier. And also, The Last of Us Part 2 was the game of the year for 2020. Don't ask me.
Oh my god.
I have no idea who that person is.
That's it.
I don't want to. He prefers Adriana Chechik.
Adriana Chechik?